The following was recorded in front of a live audience of Doritos and Dreams. We're just a bunch of nerds who are thirsty for some sweet, sweet D&D. I'm a first-time DM, and my adventures are brand new, so this is our real 5e D&D podcast. Expect some ridiculous voice acting. Like, when I say ridiculous, I really mean horrible voice acting. Some super stupid moments of play, because that's what we do. And just friends having fun together. You might hear some chips in there, because snacks are involved. This is our story, as is much yours, so I'm happy to welcome you to Saving Arcana. If you carry the 5 and then divide by pineapples... Oh, this is episode 4. You can hear voices from where you're at. There's a bit of a bustle. Where you guys want to head towards the voices?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So
it's been a while since we've seen.
It's just about 200 feet away,
people.
And as you're coming through the clearing, you come through this bit of brush. It's really thick, and as you bustle through, you actually stumble as a group, and you're right on the road. Right to your right, there's the sign. It says Jolly Momos to your left, and then it's there's a pathway to your right that looks 20 miles to the Alchemist Lab, and then the direction that you came. So you know Waterdeep's about 8 miles that way. There's people. There's a couple carts passing by. There is a cart of an older gentleman. Not really old. He's just a human. He's got a cart with a couple daughters in the back. And, I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah! And just kind of takes them along. And there's other people, just traders. You see pack mules. Have you ever seen a smaller, stout man with a very large backpack following behind a couple of gentlemen with long robes that look a bit noble in nature? He's basically their servant as they're walking along, and they're talking, holding a scribe, and they're talking numbers and just chattering between themselves. And the stout young man is having a hard time staying up with them, as off the backpack there's like a lantern hanging. It's got all these packages piled on. You're kind of curious how he's holding on to so much weight. It's way more than a normal human would be able to carry. And so they're walking along. What would you guys like to do?
So we're like right by Jolly Momos?
No, you're right at the cross section. Jolly Momos is about 2 to 3 hour walk to the left down the road, and then it'll probably take you about 6 hours to make back to Waterdeep.
So
down the road.
So we head over on the way to Waterdeep.
Yeah.
Wait, what time is it now?
It's still about 11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of time has passed.
Let's not. There's been enough woodland adventures. Let's try to get back to the city.
Yeah, they gotta be wondering where their
To
goods
the
are.
city.
And I checked my pack to make sure nothing got broken from the Alchemist Lab.
Sure. Your backpacks are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Everything is still there.
Go for it.
As you left that little dungeon, as we'll call it, the challenge, you felt the damage hit you from all the power of the force of hitting the wall, but when you left, you didn't feel bad in any way. You didn't feel like you lost any health points. You feel right as rain.
Cool. There was quite a lot of Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Do you guys start making your way back to the...
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to pull out my little wineskin of Dryad's Kiss and take a little nipper
How much
off
do you
of it.
drink?
Just like the one.
Shot.
You told us there's 12 portions. I just
12
take one.
shots worth.
Yeah, I just take one.
You need to give me a Constitution save.
12. Wait. Yeah, 12.
With a 12, you become very dizzy. Maybe it's the malnutrition or the fact that you haven't eaten, but you feel, wow, that really hit me hard.
And put that back.
You
Does he need
do take
babysat?
one level of exhaustion.
Idiot.
So you guys start making your way back. You start walking along. There's wagons passing by. You make about 3 hours in.
I make merry with all the wagons.
Oh, sure.
So,
they pass. They're very friendly.
Very
oh,
tipsy.
hi. And they'll wave, and A few of them might see that he's really drunk, and one of them will throw down an apple to Avalot and be like, your buddy needs it, and then, they'll keep it. They're just very friendly as they pass by.
I'm like, if he needs any help walking, I'm gonna help him walk and babysit.
Yeah,
a little
he
bit.
kind of stumbles a bit from here and there. He's
I'm
pretty
gonna throw
dizzy.
the apple and be like, eat this, and I throw it straight to your mouth.
Straight into your mouth.
I mean, it's a big mouth. You can eat it.
You can take it.
Ow.
Ow. So you guys come across as you're
Thank you.
walking. You come across as you see in the far distance. There is the grand city of Waterdeep. It feels
You guys
probably
are
pretty
home.
good
Huh.
to finally see it, but it is off in the distance. It's still about a 3-hour walk. You've crested over a small hill, and as you're coming down the hill, there's quite a few carts going by. You see off to the right that there's a wagon that's got a wheel off, and a guy out in the road just going, hey, can somebody help me? And there's wagons passing, and they're trying to not look. They are acting as if he is not there. And he's like, I just need a little money to... is anybody going to help me?
Are we close enough to do an insight check?
Yeah, you guys have come right over the edge of the hill, and it's probably about 50 feet in front of you.
I nudge my compatriots. I'm like, hey, we should help that guy.
I head over on the other side.
I
Good man.
did 11
What can
on
I-
insight.
While you're doing that, I'm already approaching it.
Sure. Even with an insight of 11, you notice that he is quite
Distraught.
young, but at the same time, this young man is seemingly true. He's not trying to swindle people. You don't get that feeling from him. So you're walking right up to
I'm
him.
like, hey, what's going on? What do you need help with?
Yeah, what can we help with you with?
Let me describe the scene a little bit as you're walking up. As you're walking up, you hear like axes hitting wood. Somebody's chopping a tree, and you look right and you see 2 other men chopping 2 different trees down. As you're looking at the wagon, it is a 4-oxen wagon, and this wagon is pretty large in size. It's an extended wagon. It's got a lot of stuff in the back, but the wheel is completely shattered in 2. It looks like they possibly hit something or it just broke. This young human man is going to walk up to you. He's very clean shaven, nice clothes, not noble, but he's not. Yeah, he's definitely a merchant, but not cheap clothing by any means. Same status for the other 2 gentlemen off, but they're sweating. They're chopping down trees. He'll walk up to you and go, Can you guys take like 5 minutes and help us?
Sure, what do you need?
As you can see, we hit a pothole, and you look over and there's this really deep rivet in the ground where it's just been dug into. The wheel just went straight in, and it snapped the wheel in half as soon as it pulled back out. Nobody's stopping. Everyone's acting like we're not here, as that they're too busy. If you guys...
I thought we were going to Waterdeep, not Indianapolis.
Hashtag pay 465.
No joke. He goes, we're just simple merchants. We do the pathing, and we're heading back to Waterdeep. If you guys will help us, I can compensate you. We do a lot of stuff. We sell quite a bit. We move merchandise. But my 2 friends over here, my brothers, it's gonna take them a while. We need to make this delivery in the next 2 hours. So if you guys can help us, I can make it worth your while.
How much do you have to deliver?
7 crates to a guild, and he pulls out a small a pamphlet and he goes through. He goes 1 to the Black Ravens and 7 to Haven.
Hey, that's us.
Oh, you're from Haven. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe by your honor, you are bound to help us.
Let's not go that far.
Oh.
Besides that, I would still help you.
But how about... Well, clearly this wagon isn't moving.
Not right now.
Do
No.
you think your oxen would be strong enough to carry 2 boxes each? If you tie
I
it to them?
can't leave all this here. I have an entire... I mean, other than the 7, there's still other deliveries I have to make. If I was to leave it here, all this would be gone. They would strip my entire wagon.
Well, we could walk your beast for you, and then
Oh, I see.
return them
Well-
after the delivery has been made.
Well, see,
Let's just say you're
the
not
thing
going
is,
anywhere.
well, yeah, you're right. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're already in the process of chopping down the wood. We just need hands to kind of carve it down and get another makeshift wheel to get it into town. If we can get it into town, we'd be right as rain, but I just need more hands. It's going to take us probably half the day. We're going to be late, but if you guys were to help, I'm sure we could get this done in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, we can help. I think I have something that can help us out a little bit. And Elrick taps his staff on the ground, and a little puffy brown cloud like comes up to the earth and swirls around the staff and like shoots out, and a little bear like appears right next to the trees that they're chopping down.
Okay. Is this what
It's
are you
a
casting?
bear totem. It's my totem aura. And
Is this a physical bear that they can see? Is
no,
it spectral?
It's spectral. It's
Okay.
neither object nor animal or anything.
Okay.
But it takes on the
Sure.
what it looks like, and each creature when it appears gets some temporary HP, but they get anybody in the aura while it lasts gets strength advantage on strength saving throws and strength ability
Dang.
checks.
Okay. And as you send out this bear totem, it pops up near the two gentlemen that are swinging their axes. All of a sudden, you hear this thud, 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 thud. The bear totem goes out. Thud, 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 thud. And they just feel stronger, like they've got another second wind, and they are just hacking away. And he looks over and he goes, "Oh my. What? You know what? Just don't tell me. They're working really hard."
It's pretty cute.
It is adorable. It's just sitting on its hind legs, just going.
So could you turn into a beaver and help them out with the wood?
Have you ever seen a
No.
beaver before? What's your
What's a beaver?
What's a beaver? That actually might.
So basically, what he's asking in order this to work, you guys would each give 2 athletics checks to help chop, whittle the wood, get it sectioned. If you guys are wanting to help, unless you have something else that you have creatively that you want to help.
I know, if he's a beaver, he can.
Yeah, he would be able to do it pretty quick.
He can make a makeshift fly with his teeth. He's pretty damn quick. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking.
No,
for
we're
perfection.
looking just to get it in there. Some like archaic
I
wheel
don't-
system to get in there.
So can you turn into a beaver then?
I don't think so. No.
No.
Okay. So you guys are just gonna him make the wheel then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just 2
So
strength checks.
each person give me 2d20 rolls and
Add advantage.
no, this is 2 different checks. I'm just having you roll.
I know, but I just add advantage because of my totem.
Oh, you if you're going over into that aura, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
for
roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring the aura like so that. How far away is those trees?
it's like 20 feet from them. So if you're putting it over and you're working over, it'll work.
Yeah.
If all 3 are doing this, roll 3d20s and take the top 2.
3d20s and take the top 2. Bye.
So that would be a 4 and a 15.
I got a
Okay, so
natural.
19 total.
Got a natural 20 and a 19.
Damn.
A
Okay.
19 and a 6.
Do we add our modifiers?
19 and an 8. Sorry.
It would be your
Okay,
strength
so-
modifier.
so
or
7
acrobatics, sorry, whatever your
19
acrobatic.
and 8.
19 and 8.
Acrobatics is dex.
I thought
So
it was
Dex-
athletics.
Sorry, I meant athletics.
Athletics.
So
I
sorry.
was like,
Okay.
that's why I
Yeah.
brought up the.
So that would be a 17 and a 6.
Athletics?
Yes.
Dang it. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Your total. What's your total? You got a nat
23
20
and
and
11.
A 19.
3 and 11.
So is 23 total.
Okay, let me. Okay, so with a nat 20, you're able to work at a much faster pace. With this, he was saying it would probably take 3 hours. With the work that you're doing, with the totem on top of a nat 20, you're able to take the wood and whittle. You, being in nature, this seems secondhand nature to you. You've never really done this work before, but it's simple. It's working with wood. You've communed with the forest enough to just whittle away. You do as much work as 3 people. With your 2 combined, you guys are able to get them a new wheel fashioned in an hour. So as you guys are getting the wheel, you actually unload the wagon. You lift the wagon up with your strength. You put the new wheel on. It seems to be ready to rock and roll. The young man, just insanely impressed, will just say, I cannot believe how fast you guys you're saving us. Please, ride in the back of our wagon. When we get back to Haven, I will make sure Malcolm rewards you very well.
So I'm like, yay!
And so
Thank you.
He's basically just offering you guys to stay. It's about a 3-hour. It's a 3-hour walk. It's only about a 2-hour ride in that wagon.
I'm jumping in the back.
You jump in the back. Okay, great.
They're too big.
Am I too big? I mean, I don't weigh a whole lot.
This is a huge.
Yeah, I hop in the back.
Very large, so you're good.
It kind of when I sit down, but
Now don't break the new wheel. You're like what, 400?
And
280. Thank you very much.
the young gentleman will just say,
5 million.
thanks guys. My name's Joseph. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. I cannot say thank you enough. So just relax. Here's some wine and some bread. If you guys are hungry, just please relax. You've done so much for us. I'll repay you in any way I can. And you guys just take off, and you guys are just relaxing in the shade for a couple hours.
I'll eat, drink, and make merry.
Very, very merry. Very.
I eat and drink water and make merry.
Oh, that's funny. As you guys are riding back, you feel elated to finally be home. You've been through so much. It seems like you were sent on such a simple request, but this has been hell on wheels for you guys. What turned into supposed to be a 1.5, 2 days max event is much longer. You actually have no idea how long you've been gone.
Great.
I'm so disoriented.
So as you guys are laying, you hear the bustling city of Waterdeep. You hear people in shops and people yelling out and all these different things. But as you guys are riding, you see this is a non-closed wagon, so you're just in the back and you're just taking in all the shopkeeps on the road. There's actual shopkeeps that have in the buildings, and they're outside with their signs. They're yelling at people to get them into their stores. Anything in all walks of life are just walking around. It's a busy day in Waterdeep, and you're in the market area. Off into the distance, you do see the different areas, and there's different portions of Waterdeep that are raised. You see the large castles off to your right that are in the raised noble area that's more towards the center of Waterdeep. You see off into the slums where it starts to get darker tones in all the buildings. You're somewhat of a higher... all of Waterdeep's a little bit on a hill, so as you're coming from the north side, remember, Haven's down in the far south. You're making your way through, and he's taking you to Haven. So you stop at a couple shops. They unload a couple of the crates, do their paperwork, and he says, just stay in. I'll take you right to the front gates. It's no problem.
So since we're already stopping places, would I be able to stock up on some rations?
I mean, if you want to, you'd have to pay for them at a shop. You'll get rations at Haven.
Okay.
I would wait if I were you.
So I guess as we're going through, then I turn to my compatriots and I say, since we're going through the merchant area, do we want to get our magical items appraised or anything?
I was like, well, remember, we're at the mercy of the wagon, and I really think we should check in first because we don't know if it's been a week, a month, a year. Let's just make it home first. We got plenty of time to go. And I personally want to make it home.
Yeah, I'm real drunk still. That stuff is real potent. Don't drink it.
As
that's
the time
poison.
has gone on, it only lasts for 4 hours, so
Okay.
you're coming down from it.
Whew, I'm real tired though.
You don't have exhaustion anymore.
Oh, okay.
The exhaustion only lasts during the time of dizziness. The one thing that you do notice as you're going through these the towns, you see different types of shops. And there's tons. There's magic shops and all these. One of them does stick out in your mind. You see a one that's called Tools and Tinkerers, mm-hmm. and then another as you're passing by in the marketing called Feathery Fireballs. As you're pushing towards the center of Waterdeep, a loud voice catches your attention as it's starting to get into the center. And at the center, there's a very large statue. And around the statue, there's actually quite a bit of a crowd that's causing commotion in the sense that the carts can't make it through very easily because there's people coming together. And you hear in a very, very loud voice, "He is forgiving to those who give their soul in dedication. Feel the wind beneath your feet as you give your undying attention and adoration to God that truly wants your love. Embrace him. Begin as one. All of us together, we will be the only truth you will ever know. You see off to your right what seems to be somewhat of a preacher in a very long robe that's red in color. And he's just screaming out, but these people are so enamored with the words that he's speaking. It doesn't really fall in your ears as anything but a speech, but these people that are in front of him are just wide-eyed and yes, just affirmations as he's speaking these words.
I got a 13.
A 13? So with the 13, you know that this is probably a hive mind god. So as you guys are riding along, you guys have passed the main area. You heard the preacher preaching. You passed a couple other things. It's been a bustling area, and you guys are making it back to Haven. Is there anything you guys want to look for while we're carting along? Anything you guys want to stop for? You just want to make it back to Haven?
Are we in Haven yet?
Just make it back to Haven.
Just make it back to Haven.
Okay.
For now.
Yeah. You guys make it back to Haven. You pull in the front gate. There's people there at the front gate. They see the merchant Joseph. They've known who that person is, and they bring him on in. The gate's open. You guys come in, and they notice that you guys are in the back, and hey, you're finally back. Just some people come over to the actual cart. So there's a bunch of people out in remember there's like a courtyard before. In the courtyard, I'd say there's about 5 to 10 different people. There's people over on the side training swords, a couple long halberds over here, just people generally being busy. And most of them come over to greet you as you guys they can see that you guys have finally returned. So there's a bit of a crowd around you. What would you guys like to do?
Elrick gets off the cart and gives a good old long stretch back. Oh, that was a great nap, and scratches his back with his staff.
Joseph and the two brothers hop out, and there's a bunch of people the 5 to 10 people crowding around you, and they're like, you guys actually made it back. Welcome back. It's been a while.
How long
has it been? We kind of lost track of time and...
You guys have been gone for almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
No
How do you guys not know this?
That's a
he
long
yells over
story.
to somebody go get Malcolm. Go get Malcolm. And one of the other guys in the back starts to run off. Remember, Malcolm is in the tower, so he runs out or down the road and starts going to the tower. And a few of them start helping those 7 crates unload. And Joseph is just chattering, and everybody's happy to see you, patting on the back. And welcome back. What do you mean you don't know that it's 3 weeks? How have you not known? You guys have been gone for so long. We just gave up. We didn't even know.
Okay.
Oh, that's
You were supposed to be gone for this is what we send most of our people. They all come back within a day, 2 days max. 3 weeks later, you show up unexpectedly just in the back of a car. We're happy to see you, but wow, you have so much to tell us.
Yeah. A lot happened.
Well, when Malcolm gets over here, we can talk about it more. Nathaniel comes out on the top of the second layer. There's a bit of a balcony, and he comes out and he shouts out and goes, "Did somebody go get Malcolm already?" And then one of the we went to go get him. He's fine. He's gonna be coming over here. And Nathaniel bellows out, "Welcome back, you 3. It's been a long time since we've seen you. There's many things to talk about. After you're done talking to Malcolm, come see me." And he turns and walks in. Malcolm starts to come around the corner. It's a little bit slow. You hear the cane more than anything. And his little feet just shuffling. He's coming around and, oh yes. It's been a long time. Please follow me. And he's going to take you guys back to the tower. We have much to talk about. He's got a little pep in his step, and he's pretty excited to see you guys. Do you guys follow? Or
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we follow.
You make your way back
Slow steps.
to the actual for you. You make your way to this dark obelisk tower. As I've told you before, there's about 6 flights, and at the top it becomes a spiral to a very tip. And as you get closer, you see this dark shine off of all of the walls. It's very beautiful, but very ominous. And he goes, "Oh yes, come in. We are going to go up to the 5th floor, and we're going to talk at the orb. I told you about this last time, so come with me." And you go inside, and you go up a spiral staircase in the center, and you make your way all up to the 5th floor, and you come into the room, and it's a rounded room. It's about 15 feet around, and there's a small table in the center with a glass orb just sitting in the small of the table. He goes, please, walk over and put your hand on the table, and let's talk. There's so much to talk about. And if you want to do an investigation as to what the orb is, you can, or I can use your passives if you don't want to roll.
Yeah, I'll do a persona check.
Okay.
Perception or investigation?
Actually, it'd be Arcana than anything. Sorry, I misspoke.
13.
13. Okay.
19.
19. Both of you know that this orb works in such a way that anyone within a 15-foot radius of the orb cannot speak a lie in its presence.
Oh.
Beautiful.
So as you guys enter, he stays in the doorway. He says, "Yeah, please just go touch the table and let us begin." And right behind him comes the little gnome, comes in right next to him and pops up on the high chair. He brings out a big piece of parchment. He goes, "Hi guys, welcome back." And he starts just drawing really, really fast.
Well, hey, little buddy, how have you been?
I've been good, thanks. Oh, stay still. And he's just drawing. So Malcolm says, from the top, what happened? And if you want, I can, for the sake of time, abbreviate this. Okay.
Yeah, let's go through it like, this is that.
So, do you want me to abbreviate, or do you want to abbreviate?
Just abbreviate.
Yeah,
Okay. So for the most part, you tell them. Well, let me ask you this: Are you going to fight the Orb of Truth? Or are you going to be very?
I personally don't see a reason. Do you guys see a reason to fight it?
We didn't do anything wrong.
No.
Although I really don't want them to find out about the bloodsuckers.
So
Can we just omit and not lie?
No. When you are in the Orb of Truth, it pulls everything. You cannot tell a lie, nor can you hold information. So when you begin, it spills. So your only option is to not talk.
I'm not going to talk.
Okay. That's why I'm asking if you're going to fight against it, because if you try to omit, you're going to have to fight some rolls.
No, just...
Yeah, I'm not going to talk.
Okay, great. So you start telling, and you tell them all the details. You tell them the details of the bloodsuckers. You tell them everything. So as you're just spilling, and Avila, are you going to be the speaker for this? Okay. As you're spilling, you spill all about the fairy dragon and what you encountered, and all the tiredness and the satyrs, and the little gnome's eyes is just crazy as he's trying to feverishly keep up, because you keep giving these elaborate and very colorful descriptions of all these different actions and things, and Malcolm is taking notes and trying to keep up, and he gets a bit lost, and he'll stop you and go, whoa, did you say satyrs? And then explain to me that again. Okay, and you keep going, and you tell him about the fairy dragon, and his eyes perk up, very, very inquisitive in nature, and just kind of, okay, confused, and some things, the dots begin to connect, and then you tell him about Ko, and he seems even a bit more, and was Ko one of the illusions? And you tell him no, that as far as the dragon, Ko was real, and what was real and what wasn't, and then you tell him about the event at the challenge and how you threw the cat and all these great things, and he is so flabbergasted that all of this has happened, and he takes the quill and puts it back in the inkwell, and he folds up his paper, and he motions his hands to the gnome to stop, and he goes, You can stop that now. Oh, okay. And he turns the paper around, and it's basically a chronicle of all of the actions as a storyboard, as what you guys did, and all the different things depicted in his mind as you guys are describing. And he goes, "Is this good enough?" And he's like, "That'll do fine. You can leave." And so he hops down and, bye guys, bye! And he
Bye, little buddy.
runs out, and he comes in closer. Malcolm actually enters the zone with you guys, and he goes, never have I ever heard of a fairy dragon in our land. But this explains why we've sent so many groups for such a simple quest. We did not intend this to happen to you. It explains it, but trust me, this was not a test. This was something else. We had no idea, and I want you to understand that we did not know. He will begin to talk about your items, and if you give me your items, I can identify them for you, if you want me to.
I'll give him my item.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. This is, wow. You have no idea what this is, do you?
It's a rare though. Please don't steal.
I wouldn't think of it. And yours?
And over the coin.
The coin.
It's like, I already know what mine does. It's a little trickster coin. I tell people I win on heads, and it's always heads.
You're not wrong. He takes the coin. And yours?
My thing translates things. I just blurt out.
Well, let's see what all it can do. And he takes those 3 and he puts them out around the table, and you see him begin to shift his hands in such a way to start casting Identify. He begins to tell you the meaning of each of your items. This coin, it's referred to as the coin of cheating.
Coin of cheating.
It always lands on the opposite side that the other person calls out, so that you always win. Let me show you. And he flicks it up. Heads or tails? Flicks it up in the air.
Heads.
And then it lands. Tails. Try the other. Flicks it again.
Heads.
Tails. It's always opposite, so that whatever they choose, you will always win.
Sorry.
What this does outside of it is there's 2 things. One, it requires attunement to the coin, as that is blessed by a dark patron, and that it will always give you advantage on deception when using. So keep that in mind. And the attunement, how attunement works, this attunement, because all attunements are different, this attunement specifically requires that you cheat 10 people. You have to cheat 10 people back to back, and then after the 10th person, you are attuned. He moves on to the monocle, and he puts the monocle on, and he clips it, and he goes, any wearer, and I do look good with this on, any wearer can read any language. But the trick is they have to clip it to their clothing. If you don't clip it, it doesn't work. And he does that, and he'll show it. He'll hand it to any of you. Any of you can wear it, but when you clip it on, the words will then become known to you in common. Any language on this plane.
What if you don't speak common?
It will give it to you in the language that you do.
Your first language?
Your first language. As most of ours is common.
Right.
And this bag has got me a little perplexed. I've heard this type of magic before, but I've never seen it. This is called the Bag of Returning. And he puts his hand in, thinks to himself, and pulls out a trinket. It looks basically like a little necklace. And he goes, I thought of this. This is my mother's necklace. He hands it to you, puts it in your hand, and as you can tell, it's real. And you can feel it. You bite it and you try to bend it. It's real in this physical realm. But in so many hours, it will dissipate. And then it's no more. All you have to do is put your hand in, and if you can think of it and put it in your hand, you can bring that item out. And it becomes physical for so many hours. How many? I don't know. It might be different for different times. It could be 24, it could be 36, but it does materialize. It seems to have the limitations of small trinkets, but you could test its ability. The one thing you do notice on the outside, that it's blue. The bag is blue, but the inside feels like leather. When you take an item out, it turns to green. So when the bag turns back to blue, you know the item is gone and it can be used again. It will only produce trinkets. If you try to produce anything that's not a trinket, what happens is that it just goes and it uses the charge and changes to green. If it stops working and it goes on cooldown. It will, when it goes on cooldown, it'll go on for 24 hours before your next use. So there is a limitation of trinkets.
Okay.
The physical object, depending on the quality, is how many hours it can stay in the physical plane. If it's extremely ornate and it's exact replica, then it can only stay for 2 to 3 hours. If it's a poor replica and it's not a very ornate object, say for a simple necklace or a small charm, it can stay up to 12, but maximum of 12 hours in the physical plane. You guys make your way back to the main haven front doors, and he takes you up to Nathaniel's main library room, and what it is, it takes you up on the second level, and it takes you over to where that balcony is. So as you remember, your tokens don't allow you on the second level, but since Malcolm is giving you access, take you up. They let you right on through. You come to a room that is made of nothing but wood. Everything is hand-carved in here. There is bookshelves from the top of the ceiling all the way to the floor. It's just books. Nathaniel seems to have a small library that's quite extensive. The chairs are very ornate in the sense that everything is handcrafted with such skill that it would seem a noble would live here, and you know that he is from noble blood. So it very much reflects his upbringing. As you guys enter, Malcolm motions for you guys to take a seat, and he goes over and whispers and hands that paper, that chronicled storyboard to him, and gives him a little bit of a rundown. Nathaniel turns around and, now that I have you sitting, I do want to talk to you about the fact that you were gone for so long. I see that you encountered some incredible things that we had no idea was literally right next to our base, our home. You explained that you dealt with dragons and satyrs and honestly a trickster mage, and you went through so much, but you were gone for a very long time. We sent out a couple parties, another couple groups passed to take care of your assignment. Other people have done this in the past, but your assignment was to take that box and go get Hilda what she required. We had no idea if you were just deserters or if you actually completed it. The other two groups went and got 2 more sets. We have this happen once a week. We go and get the supplies and have it come back. They had no problems. So we had no idea what had happened. And I'm glad to hear that you guys are alive and that you've made it back, but 3 weeks is a long time. A lot's happened since then. There's been turmoil and water, and Waterdeep. I almost said Waterworks. and Waterdeep. There is a uptick in cultists. You might have even seen a few.
Yeah, we saw one downtown, I believe.
They're popping up quite often, preaching all over about this god of theirs. They're not in the wrong. Everyone has freedom of speech here in Waterdeep, so they can do that as they please, but it's alarming how many more of them are showing up. They keep talking about this all is one, and we're all together. I don't know what kind of malarkey that they're trying to spit to our people, but we've lost a couple of people from Haven who've renounced Haven and went to become an acolyte, extremist. Now that you guys are back, I have something to ask of you. You obviously can take all the time that you need, but your next assignment will be to not infiltrate, but look into what all of these people are talking about. They keep talking about a temple down south, a few miles, where they're all convening, and we don't have any eyes. Every time we've sent people down there to take a look, when they get a mile away, they come back blind, burned. We don't know what's going on. if there is a chance that you guys might want to take on a very unique job, you guys are my only option. All of our second and third tiers are on an extremely important mission right now. And quite frankly, you're all that I have, but you're my best bet. You showed a lot of promise in the beginning, and you obviously can take care of many situations that are well out of what a recruit should be. So if you want, I would be willing to give you this. If you don't want to take it, Hilda has a few quests options for you as well. There's a few other quests that are starting to pop up around. It seems that the ban on quests through the political parties has been lifted. And so adventure guilds are now giving quests. It's really up to you. I will give you till tomorrow night to decide whether or not you would like to take on something of this nature. But please go talk to Hilda, and let me know. But get some rest. You've done good. And the last bit that I want to explain to you is, quite frankly, you all have shown such determination that I would like each of you to go to your respective trainers. Spend time with them. Commune. Train. They all have something a little special for you. If there's nothing else, I have many manners and people to talk to and brown noses to smush. So if you have no other questions, I have work to get done.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
We helped a man on the way here,
Joseph.
and he said that he was going to talk to either you or Malcolm about...
Yes. He did speak about the fact that you took time out of your day, even after all this, to help them get their carriage. They brought more weapons, food, supplies. He's a trader that we have coming from a couple nearby cities, and quite frankly, absolutely. Tell you what, normally I wouldn't, but you really put your neck out there. When we give your stipend, I'll throw an extra 100 gold. This
That's
week.
awfully generous.
Well, you guys have really gone above and beyond, and quite frankly, we needed those supplies. We were running a bit short, having to expel all of our savings to give, since we sent everyone on a single mission. So they took all of the rations and everything else that we had, but those supplies are going to keep us for the next couple months. So it's important. What you do here is important, and it goes farther than you know.
Well, we appreciate that.
Any further questions?
I appreciate it anyway.
I think we're good.
He comes up to each of you and go, and with that, I present to you tier 2.
Ooh.
And it gives you each a coin that shows, before it was the Ouroboros, the double, but now the 2 Ouroboros are within a shield, and it has 2 dragons next to the shield.
I make like a really embarrassing squeaking noise.
He
give
smiles,
her a weird glance.
a bit happy that you're so happy to receive this, and he goes, if you decide to take the next mission, these are yours. But if you don't decide, you can expect to get this soon. It's just I wouldn't be able to send you on such an important mission without giving you the title that it deserves. So come talk to me by tomorrow night. And he closes his hand.
We were like,
I'm like looking at you two like pleadingly, like please let's just say yes now, please.
I'm
And
like,
with that, unless you have
I'm
something
like,
else.
let's think about it.
Yeah, let's sleep on it. It's been a long 3
Tier
weeks.
2.
Or
Did you
day,
see the
or
shield?
3 days, or
You've been gone for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I feel like I really need to just go sit in the garden and then go to bed
And weep.
and weep.
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 Weep with your 100 gold.
Wait, did we get 100 gold too?
So,
Or-
Yeah,
No,
for
that's-
as
that's
he
something
turns around, he'll say, please go visit the front desk to receive your 3-week stipend that you have been gone. we owe you back pay as well as the uptake, and he hands you documentation that he has signed to give to verify that you will receive 100 extra gold apiece. He says, with that, have a good day.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Thank you. He bows.
Thank you, Nate Daddy.
Thank you, Nate Dad.
And so with that, do you guys go downstairs? What do you guys want to do?
We go downstairs to get our money.
As I'm leaving,
Buddies.
I accidentally hit my head on the door.
Nathaniel looks
Oh,
up
damn.
and just kind of shakes his head and just...
Sorry about that. I hope I didn't damage it.
He doesn't leave a dent or anything, but he's, As you guys walk downstairs and make your way to the front desk, it's basically the ultimate quest giver, general information. It's a little human girl behind the desk, and she's very cute in her features. Long golden hair pulled back into a ponytail, small button-like face. She's got a frilly dress with the what you would think is like a what do you call that? The corset underneath or above it. It's red, and the underneath is white. So it's got a red on white feature. Palish skin, a bit not scared, but she does have a bit of kindness in her tone and her face as you walk up. And are you here to receive your stipends?
So I immediately walk up to her and do my whole thing
Wow.
of making her feel very, very important. Do I need to roll for like persuasion or performance for that?
Just to make her feel important.
Just
She's
to like really, really charm her, because
it depends. How do you want to charm her?
I want to flirt with her.
Well, flirt.
So is
Yeah,
that
give us your
persuasion
best. Give us
You
your
are.
best.
That's how you flirt.
You're not gonna roll. You gotta.
No, you
flirt.
gotta do
Give
it.
us your
You
best
gotta be
pickup
like,
lines.
"Hey, baby, what you doing?"
Hey,
Fuck
boo,
off the
how
road.
you do?
what do you do? And I'm just like, oh hey, it's very surprising to see such a good-looking person working the front desk.
Her mouth is open. She goes, not even knowing what you're
Because
saying.
that's why I'm like really trying to like the glow and everything.
Yeah, she goes, you're an Aasimar. I've never seen your. Wow, you're so pretty.
And I was like, yeah, we're not very common. I'm probably the only one I've run into here.
You're so bright. Your aura is so. Wow. What's your name?
My name is Avalon.
Be her wingman.
Avalon. Are you gonna stay? Are you new to the guild? I've not seen you around.
We, my partners and I came in, but we ended up getting lost for a few weeks. But we're back, and
Wow. I'm just glad that you're back. Are you okay?
we're fine.
Great. Is there something I can do for you? Anything?
It's like, oh yeah, would you point me in the way where I can sell some wine?
Oh, Hildy next door. Hilda, wow. And she just kind of blank stares and is just so enamored
And
with
at that
her
point, I'm
aura.
like, oh, thank you. And I take my money and I wink at her as I leave.
So I like whisper like over to you. I'm like, tell her that's where you're staying too.
Like, oh yeah, and by the way, I'm staying at the inn if you ever want to come over and chat.
I would love. Can you tell me about your family and where you come from?
It's like, oh, we can discuss that. I have to get on some business now.
Oh, absolutely. She doesn't even look at your paperwork as you hand it to her. She just knows that there's a bag for you
Right.
and just doesn't leave eye contact and puts it in your hand. And as she does, she brushes her hand against yours lightly, staying a little too long
Right.
with the coins. Yeah, I'll come.
And as she's doing it, I'm just going, thank you. You've been so helpful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she blushes as you grab her hand and. Okay. And as she's like taken out of this charm, she looks to you and, what do you guys need?
Well, we're with her.
Like some
Not like
monies,
with her,
please.
just like
Oh,
not with her, but like we're her
Okay.
friends.
Yeah, I'm with
Oh,
both of
well,
them.
her any friend
Not
of
like
hers
with
is-
both of them. Like we're not.
Um,
But
she's looking a bit confused and goes, are you looking for money because
yes, please.
she? Have you left? Have you? Are you
I'm
turned?
kind of like slowly walking.
She's gonna lean into the two of you and go, is she really staying over at the?
Yeah.
At the inn?
Yeah, she is in room 2.
Thank you.
3.
In
Two.
room 2, I believe. Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm in room 3.
Yeah.
You can also
thank-
come to
thank
room
you,
3, baby girl.
Thank you. Thank you. She goes to the wrong room. And then she'll be, okay, well, let me take your paperwork, and here's your bags. It's already been approved. Here you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, and
Chink.
good luck.
I need my bag.
And well, it's
She likes tulips, by the way.
tulips.
She likes tulips.
Well, thank you. That's I know a good flower. Thank you. You're
You're
very
welcome.
kind. And with that, she writes down tulips and like the room number, and she writes it down. She gets real happy. I'm gonna go on break now. Thanks. And she runs off. As you guys get your money, and what would you like to do from here?
I like to go up to you and be like, you owe me a gold. I just helped you get with her. I told her your room number and told you that you like tulips. Give me a gold.
I was like, okay, here you go. I'll give you a gold. Yes. See, I told you were important.
So in the bag, you got 100, and then 3 15-week stipends on top of that. So 145
15 a
gold.
week?
15 per week.
15
is your
weeks.
stipends.
Okay.
And
We
then
were
your
gone
3 weeks
forever.
that you've been gone.
So
And
100 and
145 gold apiece.
That's
You have
145 plus
144,
19.
and you have 146.
I
You just
feel
gave her a
so
gold.
like excited. I'm
The-
like I'm a real rogue. Look at me. Oh my gosh. I'm a real
Slide a
rogue.
hand at that one.
I'm so excited.
I do want to make sure that you guys do take care of your gold. That's one thing I will be a stickler. I don't want anything in like if you say, I flick a silver here or there, just kind of keep a track of like, oh, okay, after all these interactions I get rid of, but everything should be just in gold, so
Right.
keep track of that as
Okay.
best you
Can,
can.
can I ask something without you getting mad?
Okay.
Can I go buy rations?
We haven't taken care of the rations.
I need more rations.
So you need to go talk to Hilda for that.
Okay.
Out of game. Okay. When you're looking for supplies or anything of that nature, when it comes to food and lodging, Hilda is the one that takes care of you guys as new initiates. Remember, you are still tier 1, and your initiates all stay at the hotel. When you are tier 2, you live in the bunker in the barracks that's
like
in
Jesus.
the underground of the
that's a
actual
bunker
castle.
then.
It's basically a bunker. There's around 50 different beds down there. So do you make your way to a shop? What are you guys feeling? Now you got all your money.
So do we have to deliver this stuff to Hilda, or did they
Nope,
deliver
you still
that
got
stuff?
the package.
Okay.
So we're going to hell.
Yeah,
you
we
eat
have
your damn rations.
We should go to
need to
Hilda.
deliver
Someone
the
is
package.
getting very hangry, and I need to deliver the package. I'm sure she probably doesn't need it that much since there's probably someone going and they got covered it. Whatever. Let's go to Hilda.
Okay. So we're going to hell.
Okay, as you guys enter the Drunken Horse Inn, I have to think about that. You still see, if you remember, the Alumpha mom is still in the same spot as you left her last time, 3 weeks ago, against the wall. All of her ornate earrings all throughout her ears, her nose, her hair slicked back, and she's an orc, very robust, round, with a sundress on, and just not very attractive
What's
as
that
you would think.
sundress do though?
Yeah, I mean,
They're like those super mutants from Fallout 4. They're like with a dress. The male super mutants.
So you got her.
I turn and oh, I'm glad to see you're looking as gorgeous as always today.
I look obviously dejected.
As you guys walk in, immediately Hilda is filling some grog from behind, and she turns around and goes, "You're actually back! Wow! How long has it been?
Oh, like,
Barely 3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's
3 weeks. I didn't even know where." I sent 2 more groups and they came back. I thought you guys were... And she makes the movement of across the neck as dead.
You can't get rid of us that easily.
I wouldn't try that. I'm so glad you guys are back.
Yeah, it's just been a really long and arduous story filled with dungeons and dragons. And I look at the camera and I go,
And product placement. So Hilda's going to turn to you guys and say, well, did you happen to bring anything? Did you get the package from Nifitz?
I reach into my bag and pull out the little box of...
She opens up the crate and goes, wow, okay, they're all here. This is extra. We already had 2 shipments. We do a shipment a week, and wow, this is just extra to help. Thank you. Well done. You guys did really well. It took you a long time. I'm sure you have a hell of a story of why. But I heard you helped out Joseph.
Yeah.
Everyone's been talking about the fact that you helped out Joe. I mean, he's such a good guy, and his brothers, they do so much for us and for us here at the inn. Anything you guys want. Drinks. It's all on. Your rooms are still, I haven't checked it, but your rooms are still good. We haven't given away or anything, so.
Great, thank you. We really appreciate it.
You guys, can I get you a drink? Food? Anything?
I'd love to drink. And
What do you
maybe
want?
some food.
You want something?
None of that.
Something special?
None of that cat's head stuff and stuff.
Oh, we're all out of that. That was only.
Okay, good.
We have a special right now. And so she basically turns around and she starts to pour and says, "Tell me what you taste." And it's quite a smell to it. It's very hoppy as a beer. She goes, "This is my special brew that I've been working on." Go ahead. And she's so excited for you to drink.
I drink some of it.
It's very, very, very hoppy. It's not very good beer. It's just one of those kind of like your first beer that you've ever made. It's just kind of a little too much. It's just not very good tasting. It's up to you how you want to respond.
This
I'd
is
like one too.
this is interesting. Well. I think I've heard about these. They're called Emone Pale Ales IPAs, right?
I haven't named it, but it's my first try, and it's free. Just go ahead.
It's delicious.
Thank you. Have as much as you want. I'll keep filling you up. You want some food?
I would love some.
You guys have been gone for so long. Is there anything I can do for your backpacks? Do you need any torches or anything?
I actually need rations. Some torches would be awesome.
Great. No, that's not a problem.
Some arrows. Wherever I can get some arrows.
You can get the arrows from the armory.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, just ask the front desk. They'll be able to run it down.
Just need a refill on adventuring gear.
Sure. Leave your packs with me, and I'll whatever's missing out of there. If there's anything specific, I'll fill it up and then have it. I'll bring it up to your rooms when I'm done filling her up. Okay.
Take my pack off.
Hey, by the way, I may be having some company. So if you see
just deliver it to my room.
Really, really loud goes.
So just stop. If there's somebody asking for me, just send them up to my room.
I shall do that.
And then I give her a call.
And she winks and goes, "Your money's no good. I'll do that for." Yeah,
Cut back the rest of my beer, and then I pull out the Dryad's Kiss, and I pour just one shot into the mug, and I'm like, "Here, you need to try this." I have some
what is this?
Satyr friends that gave it to me, and it is
delicious. What is it called? I've heard
it's called Dryad's Kiss.
She'll look over her mom and be like, "They have Dryad's Kiss." She, for the first time, turns, unfolds her arms, and goes, "Are you willing to sell it?"
How much are you willing to pay? Because this is kind of good. And
How much do you have?
Well, after you and your daughter
I'll even
enjoy
drink
this
that.
shot,
How much do you have?
11.
I'll give you 50 gold for the lot.
How about you give me 25 gold and I give you half the lot?
Roll for persuasion. She wants all of it. What'd you roll? That's roll 20. First one. I love it. She kind of steps back. Normally people don't talk back to her at all. And she goes,
"You don't scare me, lady." I called you pretty earlier.
25. You know what? I'll pay you 30. Give me half. And she slides over. "Hilda, give me a glass." And she puts it out and slides 30 from the desk behind.
If you want 6 more shots, I have some too for 30 gold.
Pour it up. And she puts it out. She puts down another 30 gold.
It's like, I have 12.
Are you willing to sell it?
What are you willing to pay for it?
60 gold.
Okay.
Whole thing.
All right.
And then, can I... remember, they come in like a goat skin kind of a container. It looks more like a water skin, but there's a bit of... I didn't really tell you this, guys, before. Remember when they had that ornate cup that they were using from? It has some of those drawings on the actual bag itself. She takes the bag and she goes, This is actually from the satyrs. This is satyr skin.
Yeah, it was given to us.
No. This is satyr skin.
Wait.
When the satyrs die, they skin themselves and then they pelt their legs into new... That's what they ferment the Dryad's Kiss in.
That's super gross.
That's weird.
That's what makes it so... Do all three of you have these containers?
Yeah.
No.
Are you willing to sell the skins to me?
I'm gonna go.
No.
Let me talk to her for a second.
All
I'm
right.
gonna do a persuasion.
Absolutely.
To say,
I go over and whisper to you. I'm like, look at us.
To say, by the way, we got these from the main satyr man, like the chief of the tribe, and therefore
Really?
it is direct from the source, highly valuable.
We've heard stories that from distant lands they will make you do horrible activities and these horrendous things, and only if you pass their test of horrific. It's never even been talked about to people surviving.
All I did was shoot an arrow.
Shoot an arrow?
It was no. Don't mind her. We had to pass some horrible, life-threatening tests, but we all made it. So then that shows how.
Roll persuasion. I'll give you advantage on that.
Advantage.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on that. That's great. Shush.
21.
21. She goes. So you're telling me all three of you were put through the most horrific things you've ever been tested upon, and they gave you the Dryad's Kiss to each of you.
And I'm just like, we each had to take a test based on what would bother us the most, and have the Satyr King watch us and see if he was satisfied.
He is a sick.
They made me get butt naked and paraded me around in front of all this.
I'm so afraid I'm gonna
make a persuasion check.
I'm just like, I'm looking at Ava and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna mess this up. I don't know what to do.
And
What'd you
at
roll?
that point, I grab her. I'm like, she is too traumatized to even talk about it.
I'm like shaking at this
You
point.
can see how
17.
it affected her.
You say 17.
Yeah.
Was the 17? She believes you. I'm sorry to hear it. Let me make it worth your while. I would be very interested to buy your skins and the Dryad's Kiss as much as you're willing to sell. Would you be willing to sell all 12 and your skin?
Yeah, we would.
Don't say
What?
we.
And she walks over to Hilda and they whisper kind of loudly in their orc tones, and she goes, I will give you 100 gold for the skin and the 12 shots. But unfortunately, I can only give you 100. I can't afford 3 skins. So I can pay you for about 3 shots, and I can pay you for about 3 shots, but I want 1 full skin
Like, you can have my full skin and the full contents
You're
for 100 gold.
for 100 gold.
And she looks over at Hilda and gives a little bag and says, okay, and puts it in front of you and holds it out with her other hand to
And
take
then I
the...
drop the sack.
And then she takes it and
The-
she
the
opens
ghost.
it up and smells it to make sure it's Dryad's Kiss that's in there. Thank you for doing business. And she takes it and then she puts it in a small box behind, a little bit hidden, and there seems to be some smaller things. She goes, and for you, would you be willing to sell 3 shots worth?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I was hoping to sell half of it. I'm keeping half of it.
I
I'm
can
keeping
really-
the skin, though. I had to get in the skin for it, so...
She kind of giggles with this humor, and
I bet you'd like that.
well, I can give you. I really don't have much left. 20 gold for 3. I'm trying to be the best I can and help you guys out. You went through so much.
20 gold,
Would you take 20? Okay. And she asked her to pour the 3 shots worth in the glass. And you, Missy, will you be able to part with 3?
Yeah, yeah, you can have 3 of the shots, and then if ever in the future you find yourself wanting the skin, you know where to find us.
I know where to find you. So if I find a buyer, these go for quite a bit on the market, and my plan is to sell it. If I find a buyer, I will be more than happy to buy the skin off you as well.
Yes, thank you.
But she gives you 20 gold as well, and pours out the 3. So now for your skin, you've drank
I drink
4,
one.
so 4 is gone total. So just keep count of how much you got in there. And for you're only missing 3, and yours is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So she gave you 100 gold, 20 gold, and 20 gold. And she goes, okay. And she gets real loud, and she goes, around on everyone. It's a great day. And she goes back over and puts her arms against in her lap, basically folded, and she leans against the wall, and she looks back at Hilda and just nods, and she starts pouring drinks as everyone's cheering and comes up, and they start patting you guys on the back because they all know whatever you did got everyone a free round.
Hilda, it's so nice to see your mom happy. It's so
nice to see you too. She doesn't speak very often, so it's nice.
It was really nice to interact with her. She's a very, very nice woman.
Can I pour you another glass?
Yes, I would love your ale. It's so nice.
She pours the big, or if you remember, like the big 64-ounce jug. It's basically like a tub. She starts filling it. She goes, "This one's on me, honey."
Oh, thank you so much. And it's so nice to see you. We have so much to catch up about in the last 3 weeks.
I don't know how much time I have. I have a lot of beer to pour, but maybe here soon we can catch up.
Oscar, real
I'll
quick,
be
is there
here.
a bathhouse around here, or a place where I can take a bath? For tonight.
Upstairs,
still
there's
kinda
actually the
smell like
last
shit.
door on the right.
Okay.
Is it says door number 10. It's actually just a little bathroom.
So I retire upstairs to go hot for tonight.
And you wanted to
So
do
it's been
something
3
as
weeks
well?
in the woods.
I'm just gonna go to the garden in that little circle and
Okay.
kind of just.
Well, before we go out there,
Recuperate.
something for you. What are you doing in this time?
So I'm gonna head out and buy some. Wait, no, it's at
Some
the
rations.
armory, right?
If you were getting arrows, you can get those at the armory, no problem.
Okay, so then I'll just stay and wait for Hilda to be done with
You want
the
to just
ale
drink
and
up
just-
and have a good time?
And I just want to talk to her, have some girl
Drink, eat, and
time,
be
Sure,
merry.
sure. Yeah, it's there is very happy in there.
and
Everyone's
eat
drinking.
a lot of food.
Oh yeah, she
Food.
gives you any food that you ask for off the menu, brings it out. There's all sorts of anything that you want is on this menu. It's very extensive, and
I want
it is
pasta.
water deep. So all the types of fresh
Spaghetti.
fish and boar and meats and dried meats. There is anything you could possibly ask for. They've got a pretty extensive menu. So you eat, be merry, you make friends with other people around, you're waiting, you're talking to Hill. It's just a party inside the inn right now. You go upstairs, and Avalot, you check in your room, you get some supplies, you go to the washroom. No one else is upstairs. It seems that either everyone's downstairs or out doing things. You take your time, and I don't want to speak for you, do you want to draw a bath in there?
Draw a bath, get
It's
ready. At this point, I'm going to put away my armor.
Sure.
And I do have some noble clothing on me, so I'm going to put that on.
Okay. You do when you go into the bathroom. They have coals along the right side of the room. It's all stone. All the rest of this building, remember, it is wood. So it's on the second level. There is stone floor, and on the right side there's coals. It's a coal bed, and there's steam happening. You can put more fresh coals on that to cause it to be a steam room. In the back of the room, there is a copper tub. It's just squared, and it is stone has been built up about a couple feet, and it is just a large bath. You can call for water to be brought up, but for the most part, there is a little string that you can pull, and from the top, water will come from a reservoir that's actually on the roof, so it fills up, and then the coals will heat the water if you want it to be warm. So you draw a bath. And this time it is around 4 o'clock in the afternoon that you've
No,
done
it's
all this
really
talking,
early.
so it's
So-
not really that late or
We're getting all
So
tanked
after
up.
that-
you're getting tanked. This is early. You're taking a bath. You go out, and the only thing that you notice when you go out to the gardens, you remember that in the zone of the gardens, it is a zone of silence, and it is meant for prayer and meditation. The one thing that you do notice as you're coming out, John is actually at the altar. And if you remember, when you go into the garden, it's this large arcane rune, and in each of the circular portions of the rune, there are small candles lit, and at the center, there is the altar. And so it has a little cushion there that you can sit down and pray. What would you like to do?
I just do like a couple laps around, kind of commune with nature, kind of take in the greenery, and kind of just like the divine energy flowing in these circles.
The one thing you do
like half hour
notice
or
that's a
something.
little off being out there, John does take off his shirt while you're walking around, and he takes out a small whip of nine tails and begins to speak words and whip his back, and it does draw blood. And say something else and whip himself, and it's drawing a bit of blood.
That is super weird. I gotta tell the girls about that when I get back.
Anything you want to do out there while you're communing?
No.
Okay.
Commune, and then come back.
While you're communing,
Take a bath afterwards.
You do get a sense of calm, the nature around. You get, even though you were spending all that time in nature, you never felt connected because of all this magic and confusion and exhaustion. This is the first time you've gotten a breath of fresh air and really feel like you've communed. You feel whole again. So it's a bit of a deep breath of fresh air. Would you like to go back to your room or anything, or do you want to stay out in the gardens?
I'm gonna go back to the inn, and I'm going to go into my room and check on my plants that I planted.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to touch each of them to kind of give them a little more juice.
When you go in, the plants that you planted, remember that they grew considerably when that night happened, and you didn't quite understand why. You've been gone for 3 weeks. The plants are actually about 1.5 feet tall, considerably more than they were last time. And upon further inspection, it looks like somebody's been trimming the dead leaves. And so you have the dead leaves around, but there's cut marks around the plants themselves.
Who's been in my room? Anyway, you get a little juice.
Anything
you get
else?
a little juice.
I mean, you can talk to plants, right? Like.
I can. Yeah, I was telling him, you get a little juice. Oh, you're looking good. Ooh, you're looking good.
Somebody's obviously been taking care of them, whereas without giving water, they would have died. So you were expecting to have 3 dead plants, but they are in pristine condition.
And then after that, I'm going to wait on the bathroom. Because I'm a gentleman.
During this time, you are taking a bath. The bath is very calming. It's relaxing to the point that you haven't actually had a breath since you left.
Yeah.
The steam begins to rise in such a way that it lulls you in a bit of serenity. Your eyes get a little heavy, and you just kind of close your eyes and enjoy the moment. And in that moment, you fall asleep. And you start to have a dream. In this dream, you find yourself on clouds. It is bright. Your eyes open. Your feet are on billowy clouds as far as the eye can see. It reminds you of an old heaven. In front of you, you see a cathedral. Spires high above, going into the next side, a next level of clouds. The cathedral's on fire. From top to bottom, you find yourself, without walking, closer and closer. And as you get closer to the cathedral, you hear voices, thousands of voices, screaming in pain, beating on that double front gated door that reaches up 30 feet. And there's a large log in front of the door, and you hear voices screaming, children and old and young, men and women, beating, screaming, help me, we're burning alive. As you get closer and closer, you feel the burn, and you rush up to the door, and you're trying to lift this giant log up, but you can't lift it by yourself, and you feel the strength in your arms, and you plant your legs and you lift it with such force that it starts to move, and the children are screaming, and you feel the burn, the fire. Your wings begin to burn, your skin on fire. As you lift the log, the log stops suddenly, and you look confused, and you lift harder, and you look right, and there is a woman that is nothing but brightness, except these bright, sharp green eyes, and she has her hand on the edge of the log. And you should be able to lift it, and you struggle, but the hand does not move. She is wearing a long, bright, flowy dress, and at the ends of the cuffs of the hands, there's but of distant galaxies woven into what would be cloth. Her eyes piercing as it is so bright from her outside nature, she looks at you, but you cannot lift the log. The screams of all the children, they dull to a whisper, and her mouth begins to move. You hear no voice from her, but you hear a voice directly whispering in your ear as she is 5 feet from you. You hear in your ear, "Redemption is sacrifice." And she begins to grab from inside her robe a shard of obsidian, holds it out in front of her, and turns her hand to drop it. Do you pull out your hand to grab the shard? What do you do?
I'd pull out my hand to grab the shard.
And as your hand goes underneath the shard, she drops the shard, and as the shard collapses into your hand, you suddenly jolt out of the bath, and you're grabbing the edge of the bath, and you feel this warmth that's not from the bath, but you feel charred. You smell the burn, and you hear the voices of the children screaming in your head as it feels all too familiar. Your hands clutching the edge of the bath, and you turn your hand over, and there's the shard of obsidian.
I just, my word. I just kind of stare at it. Can I do a perception check to see if I can see more? Is it just a plane? Any symbols on it or anything?
It is a jagged, sharp-edged piece of obsidian where it is semi-flat with as if somebody broke a piece of obsidian off another piece. And it's about 3 inches in length, sharp edges. It doesn't look like a blade or anything. It's just a shard of pure obsidian. Do you look at it? Do you inspect it?
Yeah, I'll inspect it.
You don't need to roll for it. When you look into this obsidian, you feel this dread come over you. It's a feeling that it reminds you of your past and all that you've done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It rummages up these feelings of worthlessness. You feel empty and alone when you just gaze into it. And as soon as you stop looking into it, the feeling passes. What would you like to do?
So I sit there like all confused. I quickly get out, dry myself with my noble clothes on, and just run out of there and head to my room.
About 5 minutes later, as you are putting on clothing and you're confused, you hear that distant voice, still as if it is right in your ear. Redemption is sacrifice.
I try to like not let it get to me, keep my composure, and not keep myself from just like going into that helplessness. And I just put the thing in my pocket to not touch it, and just kind of run out of there, hoping that if I'm not touching it, if I'm not looking at it, it won't talk to me again.
As the time goes on, and you have spent more time in the room, another 5 minutes go by, and you hear the words once again, but this time it says, "Redemption is sacrifice. Say it."
I kind of whisper to myself, "Redemption is sacrifice," but super low, just barely audible.
And as you're clutching this obsidian and you say the words redemption is sacrifice, your eyes glaze. And you are immediately taken into a darkness that all of a sudden, the only thing that you see in front of you is the world. Outlined in what would only appear as to be covered by an outlining runic symbol. And all of a sudden, on your continent that you know of, that where you are, there is a dot. And all of a sudden, the vision zooms so fast into where the dot is, and it shows an outline of Waterdeep. And where in Haven, there's a bright light.
Do I register that location?
Absolutely. It is the room 2. You're looking at your room and an outline of the building that you're in, and you are the light. And then as soon as you get close enough and the realization that that is you, your eyes glaze back over and you come out of it and you from you in that moment, the first instinct that you feel is, that was me. What would you like to do?
I'm just kind of think to myself and just kind of question everything. Be like, is this Paylor? Is this, who was that lady? Is my ancestor trying to talk to me? What should I do? And I'm like trying not to like break down. I'm just kind of run out of there and go. I don't know if I run into you, but if I do, I just kind of run past you and go into my room. And
Well, I'm downstairs.
right, but he was where the.
He's in
Oh,
his
yeah.
room waiting on the bathroom.
I don't know if he was outside or in the room, and I just kind of go and.
I was lounging
As
with
soon
the door
as
open.
you leave the room, you realize it is way late. Way late. Because remember, there is no windows.
Mhm.
When you open the door from your room, and you said you were going somewhere?
No, I went into I left the bathroom to go into
Yep.
my room.
When your eyes glazed over, you were in your room.
Oh, I was already in there?
Yep.
Okay, then I'll just kind of sit there, put the shard away into like a loot box that I may or may not have.
Mm-hmm.
And then head downstairs to like just kind of not be alone.
Yeah. It's 4 a.m.
It's 4 a.m. like real time.
Real time.
Is there anybody in there? No
The
one.
party's over.
Party's over.
Party's over, hombre.
That sucks.
I'm gonna go outside and see if it's like before.
Sure. No,
If-
absolutely. You
you
look
know, if
around.
it's really-
There's people in the street. There's drunkards around.
Mhm.
This isn't like before.
Do I know where the orcs sleep?
They didn't tell you, but you can
No.
imagine that they're somewhere inside the inn.
Alright,
Most people stay in the same inn.
So at that moment, I run up to their room and I start knocking on the door.
Okay.
Start on yours.
Before we go any further,
Uh-huh.
just to not jump too far ahead, was there anything you guys wanted to get done before going to bed?
Just take a bath.
No, I just.
There's
So
some
she
monkey
came
shit.
out of the bathroom and she went into her room, locked her door. You didn't see her since. You have full reign to use the restroom and clean yourself and everything else. Is that what you do for the
Yeah, I'm
evening?
just like shibby doo boo bop,
Scrubby-doo-doo.
scrubby dubby dubby.
I'm the end of the tub. I'm a
Like
big
I got some
robot.
monkey shit on me.
Yeah, still.
That's
Yep.
terrible.
No, because he got clean when he jumped into the pool.
True, true.
Remember?
That's
Yeah.
I got some swamp water on me.
Yeah.
All right, so
other
you get cleaned up.
cat hair
Do you
somewhere.
just go back to your room? And go back down to the party?
I go back down to the party
Sure.
and join.
Did you just end up just having more
So-
conversation with Hilda?
Yeah, so like the main thing that like I wanted to accomplish with and like I don't stay the whole night down there
Sure,
drinking.
sure.
Like I'm not like crazy. I just want a day drink.
I just want to date.
She's
Me
enjoying
too.
your day
I've
drink,
been
and she is
day
filling up.
drinking
She's trying to get
so
you drunk.
long.
Oh yeah.
She's like, no, you don't get to, no. You drink this. This is more. This is another blend. Enjoy. She's
So-
obviously feeding you drinks.
Yeah. And so I just want to like talk to her about like what we encountered and everything and just like make
She
conversation.
absolutely listens on every word that you
Yeah.
speak. She is elbows on the table, hands in her face, just looking at you starry-eyed like, wow, that's these adventures that you guys are doing. I just sent you on a simple quest. You met a dragon?
We met a dragon.
I need a drink. And she pours herself a drink, and that's amazing. You didn't happen to get one of the scales, did you? They go for a lot of money here in Waterdeep.
No, we were we were a little bit intimidated by the dragon.
I can imagine I would be too.
Yeah, because we didn't know if after we had done like the whole dungeon thing, we didn't know if like it was gonna let us go or like what was gonna happen. And
It's so scary.
it was, and I'm so happy that like we're back here. What's been going on with you? It's been 3 weeks.
I work the counter, you know. I just get people food. I just make sure that this place is in tip-top condition. This is my life. I don't get to be an adventurer like you guys. Maybe one day, maybe. But, you know, I'm looking for a good suitor and trying to marry if I can.
You'll
But
find someone, honey.
and she'll put her hand on yours and be like, maybe I will. And she fills up another glass and gives you more and goes back to filling more glasses.
And then I'm like, hey, Hilda, I heard that there were some cultists around here. Have any of those people come in here, or?
These cultists, they don't drink. It's a really weird part of their religion. They just kind of preach and try to get more people for their god of the... I don't remember. I just don't listen to them.
Do you feel threatened by them at all?
No, they just... Like most of them, they're all talk. I mean, sometimes, sure, they do more, but it's just rare occasions. The city guard keeps this place super safe. If they were ever to get out of line, they would die.
Shibby-doo-boo-bop.
Is
And
there-
I went downstairs.
I'm a scribbing.
And I come downstairs,
Is there
actually.
anything
It's on my
else
back.
that is worrying you about the town that we could maybe help you with?
Just
Take
if you
care.
could get more people in here, maybe do some advertising. It just word of mouth is. I mean, there's a lot of bars here in Waterdeep, but if we can get more people and fill these spots, and I can sell more beer, we can make more money. And
I
she gets
would
real
be-
excited, like, if we could do this, then we can add on, and like, she just starts talking about
I
future
would
plans.
be honored to advertise for this your amazing blends of ale.
Well, if you want to, and she just nonchalantly has some papers underneath the desk, and she puts down a stack, and she goes, if you could spread these around town, that'd be great. And it's a little flyer that's just like, come to the Drunken Horse, and blah, blah, blah. And
These
it's-
are
Love drunken
amazing.
Oh,
Oh
yeah,
my
I made them,
goodness.
and there's a gnome that's got this machine that can make this magical... I don't understand it. It's just... I have these now. Normally I have to make them by hand, but he made them within a couple weeks. It's fantastic. They cost me a lot of money, but I feel like you would do me justice. I don't have time to go put them around town.
And we go places that aren't even around town. We can get people from all over
That'd be
to come.
great.
Absolutely. So then when they come to Waterdeep, they know exactly where to go.
I'd be forever in your debt. Thank you. Just so happy that she can finally get the advertising out there. And she tells her mom, and mom looks over at you, and she just says, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything for you guys. Anything.
Super, super happy. And she's got a very full bar. So as she does throughout the night, she tries to come and talk to you. Definitely paying you more attention than everyone else, to the point that she gets in longing talks with you and neglects the other patrons. And they go, hey, we're going to get some service over here. And she just kind of holds up her finger. You hold on. And mom even gets back behind the counter and helps a little bit because they got really, really busy. This is a Friday night. You guys were gone for 3 weeks. You started on a Wednesday. You came back on a Friday. So it's the busiest night. Everyone gets paid on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the whole town works for the most part. So
Weird, me
she
too.
gets plenty of drinks into you. You come down and join. You guys eat, be merry.
Yeah, so I guess now my question is, if she's feeding me all these drinks, am I up in my room alone? Or is she
Tonight,
with me?
you're alone tonight.
Okay, but am I like hammered to the point where if Ava knocks on my door, am I gonna be able to wake
do
up?
you want to be? That's
I
a
wanna,
question for you.
I want to wake up for her.
Yeah. You drink to a large amount of consumption and you get very drunk. But you started at 4, so you stopped around 7, and then
Okay.
you started sobering up. But you're pretty hungover. But you did the wake and rally.
Great.
Hey, wake and rally.
Just
So are you good with that? Is that
yeah.
okay? And for you solid?
I did go downstairs and drink and ate and be merry.
Okay.
I did want to ask Hilda at one point, like, hey, I I noticed that someone was in my room. Was that you? Like, I'm not mad about it or anything. I'm actually really happy they're taking care of my plants.
She looks down at her feet and she really reluctantly says, "Yeah, I didn't know how long you guys were going to be gone, and I wanted to make sure you guys didn't leave anything in there, like living, like if it was going to stink, so I just checked the rooms. I know that I'm not supposed to, but I really didn't want anything to stink. And I saw your plants, and they were almost dead after. It was about a week, so I fed them a little water, and I trimmed them a bit. I hope you don't mind."
No. I actually thank you so much for taking care of my plants. And
Oh, well,
don't worry, I won't.
thanks for being understanding. Don't tell Mom.
I won't tell anybody.
Don't tell
And
Mom.
Don't tell Mom.
Then I touch a little seed in my hand, and it turns into like a little tiny flower bud, and I hand it to her.
She gets a little, like, a half glass that's broken, that was shattered from earlier, and she goes, "Yeah, put it in here."
Nah,
And she puts it there, and then she puts it behind the counter. "Thank you."
you're welcome. Pretty
And if that's it for you, you feeling good?
Yeah.
All right, so back to 4 a.m. time. You're
Or
downstairs.
forward to 4 a.m.
Yeah.
time.
Forward to
Backwards
4
to 4
a.m. and I am pass out drunk in my bed.
They are asleep in their beds. You went downstairs. There were people outside, so it does not feel like last time.
So then I run back in and I go up to your room and I go, I'll go, Voquis, are you awake?
I like slap myself a couple times in the face. Yeah, Ava, what's up? What's up?
Can I come in?
Yeah, come in.
And then I go in and I tell her, and I kind of tell her, I was like, I was taking a bath, and I had another dream, and then I put it in, and I had, this came out of my dream.
What is that?
I don't know, it's a piece of obsidian, and then I took it to my room, and a voice whispered something that I don't want to say again. I don't want to black out. And then
You blacked out?
Yeah, all of a sudden, it was 4.
Okay, come here. I have you sit down on my bed. Okay. Calmly tell me everything that happened. Do I know what obsidian is?
Yeah, the wizard tower that's right now, that's mainly made of obsidian.
Okay, so I kind of like hold your hands in mine, trying to like comfort you. I'm like, okay, tell me exactly what happened, and are you okay? Like,
And
do
then
you need?
I tell you everything in detail up to that moment, and I'm just like, I just don't know what it means. And by the way, do you know if she came back? I don't want to seem like I just stood her up.
Do I know?
You
I
were
was
asleep.
Well, I was downstairs for most of the night. Did she come
you
by?
went to bed around midnight? You didn't see her?
I didn't see her.
It doesn't matter.
We'll go find her
But,
tomorrow. It'll be okay.
regardless, I don't know what it means. And usually when you dream, things don't come back and materialize out of those.
No, they
I
don't.
wonder if, this has anything to do with the cultist, if it has anything to do with my past. I really think we should follow up and take that quest for the cultist.
I think we should too. I think that's a good idea. I think that maybe tomorrow morning, you should visit maybe a Temple of Palor or something like that. I think they would have much more answers than I would be able to. I will absolutely go with you and support you.
I was like, no, this is something I need to do alone.
Okay. If you need anything, you let me know. Do you wanna sleep in here tonight?
I was like, no, thank you, but I'll head back. I need to think.
Okay.
Did you tell her everything about it? Did you tell her the dream and then what you saw when you blacked out?
Right.
Okay. Just making sure to be clear.
Yeah. Okay, so then I give you a hug and say, I'm here for you, Ava. I know that we've had our little spats. I know that, sometimes we don't see eye to eye, but I really appreciate you bearing your soul to me. And, we've been through a lot together, and I just really appreciate you coming here. And I give you a hug and say, if you need anything, I'm right here for you.
Thank you. Then I go to bed.
And that is where we're going to end tonight.
It's not a tumor.
Okay, all right, let's break this down. Okay, they made it back to Waterdeep. Whew, it's been a long trip, and they feeling a bit tired. But then, there was a dream, and it was awesome. I loved it. Thank you guys so very much for listening to another episode. You guys are so great to us, chatting us up on social media. thank you. Thank you for making this so much more fun. And I appreciate you all. So keep an eye out for the next episode because it will be coming out soon. And most of all, we love you. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye now.